Welcome to the Rowing on the Square podcast. Today's guest knows what it feels like to have the season stop in an instant. Savannah Brija, an elite rower with Orion in Saratoga Springs, stepped out of the boat this year with a rib injury that forced her to rethink everything: training, recovery, patience, how to move without pain, how to trust your body again. Savannah started rowing at Ithaca College in 2015 and went on to earn her doctorate in physical therapy in 2020. After graduation, she chased the national team and made the World Championship squad in 2022 in the women's quad. In 2024, she raced at Henley and reached the semifinal round. She knows high performance, she knows pressure, she knows what it takes to keep pushing. But this episode is about what happens when the pushing has to pause. Today, we go inside her return from a rib injury, what she felt in the first moments, what she changed in her training, and how she used her PT background to guide her plan, and the simple habits that helped her get back into the boat with confidence. Please enjoy our conversation with Savannah. I thought we would start with just you introducing yourself, and you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into rowing.
Yeah. So I'm Savannah Brija, and I first started rowing in college, actually. I went to Ithaca College for their PT program, and I went there to play soccer. I played soccer my freshman fall, liked it, but in college or in high school, I had never had an off season. I did the whole club soccer to high school, whatever, the whole like thing. And so the first week of my off season, I was like, "Well, what do you do?" So I had a friend that was on the rowing team, and at Ithaca, they just like recruit tall, athletic people. So I had heard about rowing, and I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of interested." And I like went to practice that day, and
Wow.
yeah. So then I've been rowing ever since. They actually, and I'm really good friends with my coach now. And I was like, "Beth, you like lied to me in our first interaction." Because she told me, she goes, "Oh, it's only a spring sport. It won't interact with soccer at all." And then I was kind of decent at it. She was like, "So actually, it's a full year sport. You put soccer into rowing." And I was like, "Okay."
Right, I'll just do it.
Yeah. So here I am now with it taking over my life.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And give us a little bit of background about why it's taking over your life. So what are you currently doing in rowing?
So now I am training with Orion, which is an elite team in Saratoga Springs. There are 14 people now
Wow.
on our team. Yeah, right now we have a pretty big team, but we range from probably 6 up to 14 athletes at a time, and we're all training to make the national team.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. That's phenomenal. Like, tell me about like what an average day is like being a part of a team.
Yeah, so I typically wake up at 5:50, get up, make my coffee, have my breakfast. I'm really lucky I live right on site. So my morning commute is a walk across the bridge to the boathouse where I get to see normally, like today, the beautiful water, the morning sunrise. It's awesome. And then we have practice from 7:30 to 9:30, come back, do a little bit of work. We typically have a second practice that's on our own, either a bike, or another erg, something like that. And 2 to 3 days a week, we also have a lift.
Mhm.
And then after that, right now, I am coaching the high school strength program.
Oh,
So I will run that from 3:30 to 6, cook dinner, relax, go to bed, do it all over again.
wow. That's amazing. Like, so it's
Yeah.
the strength program that you're running right now. So it's from 3 to 6 every day?
So they run, yeah, their practice is 3:30 to 6, and the girls are twice a week and the guys are twice a week, but
Oh,
they'll do split shifts. So half of the team will be upstairs in the weight room, half will be downstairs using the ergs, and then they'll flop. So their lifts are only like 45 minutes to an hour. It's not it's not a full, but yeah, their practices are so long.
wow.
Um, but mostly because it just everything takes so long to do.
Hmm. And I would think like, so what's the age range? So that's like juniors that are you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I only work with the high school program, but we do also have a middle school program, but they haven't started back up yet for the winter.
So I would imagine that it takes a lot of time as far as like teaching them the lifts and doing like you probably do a lot of like education and cueing at this point, right? Or
Yes, yes. I've been really lucky. I've worked with them for the past 2 or 3 years on and off. So at this point, a lot of them have built how to do things, which has been so helpful. So now at every time we start a new block or start something, I have to explain a few things, but probably half of the group knows the system by now, knows how I run things. So they're really able to help out others, which has been awesome. But yes, it's a lot of form and a lot of technique on my part, which is what we're working on mostly. With the high schoolers, I'm not like, gotta max out, gotta do this. It's just like moving differently, learning how to train.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we focus on.
That's amazing. I mean, you're doing so many things. So I know you're also a physical therapist. Do you do treatments during the day and then the strength coaching in the evening? Like, or right now are you doing mainly just the training for yourself?
Yeah, so right now I'm just doing my own personal training and the kids lift, but I have in the past done a combo of all three where I'll go to morning practice, go treat people from 11 to 2 or 10 to 2, something like that, come back, get in my workout, and then run the strength program.
Wow. Wow, you're busy. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Especially working with the kids. Like I always miss the high schoolers. Like there's something about the energy of like high school boys, high school girls definitely have different energy, but there's something about it. It's like it's contagious. It's
It's
like,
awesome. It's
yeah,
so different, but it's so fun. Like I cannot begin to explain. And they do part of our program with the high schoolers is that they really want to give the boys and the girls a similar experience.
yeah,
So we run an almost identical lift, but the ways that I have to cue them, the ways that they think about things, it's just so different. It's crazy. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love it.
yeah. I mean, I miss that part of being with high schoolers all the time. Of course, my kids now, I do get it because my kids are high school age now. So the energy that they come into the house with is just you just never know what they're gonna show up with, whether they're gonna be kind of like really, really high high or really, really low low or like, yep, nope. Like,
Yeah.
it'll be like the one word answers, or they'll corner you and then they'll want to talk to you for like 30 minutes straight about like a story that they want to talk. Like you just
Yeah.
never know what you're gonna get. So that's
Yeah.
really, really fun stuff.
Yeah, and I think they love so obviously I am one of their coaches, but I don't work with them as much as their on the water coaches.
Yeah.
And because I'm an athlete, they like eat that up. They love it. Because when they complain to me, I'm like, what? I'm like, you want to talk about hard workouts? Like, I'm like, I worked out for 4 hours and now I'm here to coach you. Like,
Wild.
so yeah, but they like love it. They're like, oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Well, I know that we wanted to touch on your rib injury. So take us back to what training you were doing, how you were feeling, and then once you realized that you needed to do something about it.
Yeah, so we last winter, I was invited to do the US rowing winter trip, which was 3 weeks down in Sarasota and then 3 weeks at altitude in Colorado Springs on the erg and then 3 weeks back in Sarasota with the last week being our race winter speed order. That was kind of going to like kick off selection. So we were in week 9.
Oh my
It
god.
was the Monday of race week, and I was actually feeling pretty good. I was really fatigued the week before, but took Sunday off, was feeling refreshed. Like mentally, I was so ready for this race.
Yeah.
And it was windy. It was choppy, it was windy. The coaches were like, "You can go out if you want to." And I am like, "Yes, I will show you that I can row my boat in dead water because Sarasota tends to have choppy water." Then I'm like, "I need to be ready to race."
Mhm.
So I thought that'd be better for me than erging. And I go out and it's like it's windy. It's like 3 minutes in one direction, 220 in the other direction. Like it's windy. And I'm going and I feel a little like chest tightness. And I'm like, whatever. It just is what it is. And then I like turn and I forget if I was like in the head or the tailwind, but I like caught a weird digger. And then
Mhm.
still was like, whatever, a little bit of chest tightness. And within the next 5 minutes, it felt like someone was like stabbing me in the chest. I like couldn't even take a stroke. I was like, well, I guess I'll go into the dock. And I like put my boat away and I was like, well, I'll just bike the last like 10 minutes. And I like couldn't even put my hands on the bike. And
Oh,
I was like, oh, I was like, this just must be like a weird like muscle spasm.
yeah.
I'm good. And I remember getting in the car with my roommate and I was like, Lauren, I think I've really messed something up. And she was like, oh no. I was like, I don't know. So I like was able to get into the PT
Mhm.
like 40 minutes later.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was crazy, but I was biking for a commute
Mhm.
and I literally couldn't even bike I couldn't bike there. I luckily my roommate let me take her car, but even driving to like turn
Yeah.
is so bad. I got into PT and I was like, I have this like terrible muscle spasm. I don't know. Like I can't lay on my back. I can't lay on either side. I can't rotate.
Mhm.
I can't breathe deeply. Like please help me.
Yep.
I'm like, I can't like raise my arms. Like I couldn't do anything.
Wow.
And it was so bad. The PT was like, I think you need to go back and rest. Like she couldn't even like touch me or do anything.
Oh my goodness.
So she's like, go back, like put a heating pad on, lay down, like come back at in the afternoon and we'll see.
Yeah.
And I came back and I like still could do nothing. But she was able to like work on me a little bit. It
Yeah.
was like marginally better. And after probably like 2 or 3 days of this, we get to Wednesday and she's like, so you can't race. Like she's like, you can't. I mean, I couldn't do anything, right? I couldn't lay down. And she's like, I don't think you can race. You can't even bike or row or walk
Yeah.
like long distances. And I was like, okay, like that sucks, but whatever. And then the team doctor called me that night and asked me probably 20 questions. Mind you, I'm a PT. I know.
Know where it's going. You know
And
where it's
he's like, how does it feel to breathe? And I'm like, it hurts. And he's like, how does it feel to lay on your back? And I'm like someone's stabbing me. He's like, how does this feel? And I'm like, it's bad. And he's like, so you broke your rib. And I go, no. I'm like, I think you're wrong. Like, no one goes from no pain
to
to
break it.
significant pain. Like, I'm like, people normally have a buildup that they ignore. And I
Yeah.
had no buildup, like none of that.
Wow.
And he was like, no, you broke it. You should go get imaging. So then, whatever, by the time I got all the imaging, it was broken. And I was like, ah, bummer.
Wow.
Yeah. So I missed that race, obviously. And I missed actually every other race for the season.
Oh, that's so frustrating. And, like, as far as, like, the pain like, how long did it take to get out of, just, like, the activities of daily living, like, the ADL pain? Like, were you, like
Probably like so it got better after 1 week,
okay.
but I was still in pain doing a lot of things for probably like 2 or 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Like I remember going back to work as a PT and I had a patient who had like knee pain and to lift up their leg, I was like, oh no. Or like putting the dishes away in the dishwasher. I was like, this is so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had to have one of my friends. Of course, I felt so bad about this. We were traveling for 9 weeks, so I had a 50-pound suitcase, right? Because 9 weeks of travel.
Yeah.
And we live on the second floor of a building and I couldn't carry it up the stairs. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I need your help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't lay on my left side for probably like 5 weeks.
Oh my
So I'm in bed with like pillows tucked on the side so that I like wouldn't roll to it. Yeah.
so
Yeah, it was long. It was crazy.
so as, like, a PT, were you, like, trying to treat yourself? Were you taping yourself up every day? Were you, like, doing range of motion on it?
So, like, yeah, I was definitely trying to do everything I could. Tape felt terrible. Any sort of thing that was like stability was terrible. So I was just doing
No.
hip mobility, range of motion as I could.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really just did nothing for a few weeks because even like a 30-minute walk just like increased my pain. So
Wow.
I was like, oh, that was like, I guess I did a lot of hip mobility
Alright.
because I figured out how I could do it with like without loading my upper body at all.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was it.
Oh my gosh. So, like, 5 to 6 weeks of, like, no absolutely, like, no other things
Yeah,
but just
nothing.
mobility. Wow.
Yeah.
And then after that, were you able to get back on the bike at all?
Yes. So probably after about a month, I was able to start biking. I had to do with the ball up here, and I could only start for like 20 minutes at a time to 30 minutes, and then it would just hurt again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say probably 1 month to like 6 weeks in, I was actually able to get back to biking.
Wow. And once you got back to the biking, how long did it take you to transition from biking back to rowing?
Another few weeks.
Yeah.
I got cleared. I went down to see the team doctor after 7 weeks of the injury, and he cleared me to start a return to rowing progression that was like 5 to 10 minutes on the erg, upping 5 to 10 minutes every other day as things felt good. And then once I was at 60 minutes, I could start with the water.
Mhm.
But it took me probably like 2 or 3 weeks to get up to 60 minutes on the erg.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I went back to the water, I had to like drop down again because I only scull. So the width of sculling and like the instability of it
Oh, yeah.
took another while. That I was back in my boat sometimes in May, and I injured it in March.
Wow.
But yeah, I wasn't back to something that resembled training until probably late May.
Late May. So you went
On
March
the water. I was doing all of my training on the bike.
on the bike. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Like those workouts must have because everybody's like, oh, the erg bike, it's just twice of what the distance you're gonna do on the erg. And you go and you do it, and like my legs, like it's just different. It's 100.
Yeah. No, it was I am very fortunate. We had one other girl that was injured at the time coming back from a back injury, and then this other guy that just trains for fun. They we did every single workout together on the bike.
Oh,
And yeah, we grinded because the bike is no joke. My legs have never hurt as much as long as that.
like, I mean, it's a good idea, like, like, for people who are listening who don't cross train on the like, the erg bike or anything like that, like, ease into it because if you just, like, jump from your workouts because you can convert the workouts
Yeah.
into the bike workout, and, like, if you try to, like, do, like, a full on what you would do on the erg on the bike for your first workout, forget it, like, I know I tried that at one point, and I was, like, walking up the stairs, and I'm like, "Why do my legs"
Yeah. No, I blew up on one workout. We were doing 2 by 5K, so 2 by 10K on the bike erg,
Yeah.
and I had blown up. Like I did one and I like couldn't do the second one. And I told my coach, I was like, so we do a lot of lactate testing, but
Mhm.
we didn't have a lactate monitor. And I was literally like, you need to buy one. Like, please, I'm going to buy one right now because I needed to have data because I was like, I have no idea what speeds I should do. And
Yep.
I was just killing myself every day on the bike. And I was like, I need some structure.
Because it does because everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, it's 1 to 1." Like, so if you're
Yeah.
growing it at 205, it's a 205. I'm like, "No, it can't
Yeah.
be."
I feel like it's like the thing of like the first time you bike, it's like way slower than the erg. But after a little while, I was like, oh, I'm way faster on the bike now.
Mhm.
But yeah, it took a little while to get there.
Yeah. So it sounds like you had people with you that helped you with the comeback. Like, do you find that that was, like, super key that you had other people who were working on their injury at the same time you were? Like, do you think
Oh yeah. I like don't think I could have done it by myself. But we had this little group of three that we had was incredible. I just like could not have done it without them. Every day we're just like, here's the work, like we're doing the work. Like we were just so committed to the grind of it all. Yeah, it was good vibes given what it was.
So while you were working on the bike, did you listen to music or podcasts or watch movies? Like what how did you
Music.
find
Yeah.
music?
We did a rotation of who would play the music, but it was a lot of hard rock,
Nice.
a lot of like house music just to have a beat, not think about anything. For some of our easier days, we play a like random variety. Just
Just whatever
it's
spot.
a lot of minutes. You gotta cycle through everything in all of those minutes. But yeah.
When you returned to the water, did you change the rigging on your boat at all? Like did you make any adjustments or
So actually, as soon as I got off the water, my coach, Kat, is an incredible rigger.
Nice.
Like, one of his number one skill sets is rigging a boat, and he is an incredible coach. So to say that that's like one of the top things is like high praise. And when I was out, he has decided that he wanted to like change everyone's spread a little bit.
Yeah.
But he was like, I don't know if you want me to change yours, like whatever. And I was like, change it. Because when I come back, I want to be doing everything correctly.
Yes.
And I'm like, I would rather just make the change off the bat than get used to something and then you make me make the change.
Yep.
So yes, but not for my injury,
Okay.
just because that's how he wanted me to row. And I was like, I'm committed to when I come back, I'm not going to try to do something that eases it in or lightens the load because then I'm just going to have to, that's just another step to build back.
Yeah. You rather toggle the time and the
Yeah.
volume
Yeah.
and then have the rig be what it's gonna end up being in the very end.
Yeah. Like I just wanted to have it right from the start.
Yeah. What other challenges, I mean, like, besides just, like, the fact that you had the injury and you're doing all these, like, adapted workouts, like, what other things were challenging about being injured that you didn't really know before you had this injury?
So everyone that I've ever talked to about a rib injury was just like, chill out for 6 weeks, it'll heal, you'll get right back to it. And I was like, okay, don't do anything stupid. That was the only thing I was told was don't do anything stupid. And I was like, heard, done. My recovery was nowhere near what anyone that I'd ever talked to about a rib said. And that was so hard because another girl had broken her rib also in that camp and
Mhm.
was like right back to it. By May, she was rowing. I think we had a race at the end of May or June, and she wasn't back up to her top speed, but she was able to compete in it.
Wow.
And I was like barely touching the water at this time. And I was like, this is weird. So that was really hard because I was expecting like 6 weeks off, maybe another 6 weeks to build back up, and I would be right back in it. I would be right back in the selection camps, like still trying to fight for a spot on the 2025 national team.
Yeah.
And it ended up that I did not race at all, could not go to the camps, could not do any of that just because of how much like pain and how like long the return took. That was probably the biggest challenge was, and I didn't have any answers for it. Any I was seeing a PT because I was like, well, I need someone to do manual therapy on me,
Yep.
someone to bounce ideas off of. I was talking to the team doctors, all of these things, and like no one really had an answer to why I was still in pain.
Yeah.
Because they were like, "Oh, your ribs healed." And I'm like, "No, I know." But every time I row, especially whenever I would do high intensities, I would still get like a stabbing chest pain. And I'm like, "Well, this is concerning."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, so we never really found an answer for that.
It was just that your
But
system needed more time.
yeah, yeah.
And I always think like that, like the neural recovery too, like when you have an area that hurts, it's always kind of like as you start getting working again, you have that in the back of your mind. And I almost feel like the back of your mind talks about it too, like it's
Yes,
trying to
yes.
balance, like, am I, like, you put the blade and you feel a little twinge, you're like, am I okay? And then like you're like, yep, I'm fine. I'm complete, like you have to kind of
Yes, I did a lot of like poke my left side, poke my right side. Do they feel the same soreness?
Oh, I love that. That's a
Yeah.
good one too, because sometimes, like, you just can't tell, like, you're sore, and
Right.
sore good, because like, sore good means that, like, the muscles are challenged and you're making progress, so, like, tomorrow you'll wake up and feel better, but, like, you need to do sore good to get stronger, but sore good's kinda, like, similar to, like, sore pain, and you're like, "Ah."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot of that, but
And just, like, in dealing with that, like, was there anything in particular that helped you deal with, like, the non-conventional return? Like, I don't know if your, mindfulness or just goal setting, like, focusing on goals, like, what helped you through that period where you weren't rehabbing the way you thought you would? And, like, how did you keep your focus and, like, keep your enthusiasm for the rowing?
yeah, I really tried to stay hopeful that I would be able to take the next step. So up until selection camp 2, which was July, I think, I was like, I need to train to be as fit as I can for this. So even when I was doing most of the hard workouts on the bike, I was like, thing I can do today is work on my fitness. So it was a lot of process oriented goals. Each day I was like, okay, I can row 30 minutes today. I'll maximize those 30 minutes and then I'll go bike for 2 hours and get my fitness in, get my cardio in, and just be ready to go. So I feel like that really helped me. And I feel like that's actually something that I've like carried now is just focus on the process. I'm a very like results driven person,
Mhm.
but obviously coming back and having no idea how fast I was on the bike, I couldn't focus on that. But I do feel like, yeah, every day I was just like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? Because I couldn't just do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
So like, okay, what can I do? And then just taking that step.
Did you use any technology or wearables during that time to help monitor like recovery or to keep track of workouts or what's your go-to for just monitoring all this different volume?
So I love my Garmin. I live and die by my Garmin. I have a Forerunner, and yeah, not that I listen when it's like training readiness, one rest day. I was following the training plan that we had. My coach gave me a training plan, and I was like, I'm gonna follow this to the best of my ability.
Oh,
And that's what I did. And I would look at my Garmin and I would handwrite math of how much volume I was doing on the on the water, and just slowly trying to build back. But yeah, we also use on the water, we use Xboat,
okay.
which is a like new data watts service,
Oh, cool.
and I love it. Yeah, so I was able to see like actually how much power I'm putting in, what my length is in the water, how connected I am, what my graphs look like. So I feel like that's something that I was using to make sure that I was taking good strokes
Mm.
and I wasn't halfway through practice only using the right side of my body because the left side of my body was tired. And I feel like that was another thing that I like, really used getting back on the water to help me.
Oh, and what was the name of that again?
Expo,
Expo.
yeah.
Right.
They're awesome. It's like the Peach system, but way easier and way better. And not that I've ever used the Peach system, but I love the Expo. It's so good.
Yeah, like Peach is just like really involved as far as like getting all the different mechanics on the boat and then like making sure that the force meters don't get out of place and like and I mean it gives
Let
you
me
incredible data, but and then
no, let me tell you about Expo. You take an oarlock, there's a magnet.
okay.
You make sure the magnet's lined up, the oarlock, two oarlocks, make sure that the batteries connect to the phone and you're good. And then you like zero the force, zero the thing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have to
Like like less than an hour to set it up.
Oh my goodness. That is amazing because a
Yeah.
lot of my clients are looking for something to give them that on water feedback. And like you can get like the Empower Orlax, but that's
No, no.
yeah.
Expo. Let me tell you, it's
Okay.
yeah, the Empower Orlocks, but they actually work and easier than the Peach system.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I will have to look into that because I mean, like I said, I have some clients who, they're not training to be on the national team, but they want to make sure that they're getting out there
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just putting in good strokes when they're out there
Yeah.
and getting that extra data. I mean, in clinic, I have like a bio rower, so I can see like, you get that data
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
side.
like pretty much the same data. Like you can actually pretty much get any metric with the Expo.
Wow.
Yeah, so I get and you can change what the screen is too. So I get you can also use it some of the girls on our team use it for like they don't have stroke coaches,
Mhm.
but the GPS works well for speed. So you get speed, distance, time on one side. On the other side, I have like slip wash, catch angle, and my watts. And then in the middle, you can have force curve, acceleration curve. I use the acceleration curve a lot. I think now maybe you can get handle velocity curve, but like that doesn't make sense to me. Some people on our team just like use a blank screen so you don't see anything, but then you can go back after and look at the data.
Oh,
Uh,
that sounds amazing.
yeah, no, it's like it's so good. I'm such a nerd about it.
I know, I nerd out on these things too, like and even just, like, the idea of, like I've been taking video, of my clients for a long time, and just like I've used OnForm, and they'll
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
lines and everything. You're just geeking out on just kind of like, well, what is that angle on the recovery?
Yeah.
How far are we laying back in the finish? And just like, there's just such a great wealth of ways to have data now. It's just like you can have access to all sorts of things. And I use Crew Lab to monitor like fitness and fatigue. They have like a really
Yeah.
graph.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I use that a lot with, my athletes as they're, like, returning to sport and just kind of, like, taking a look at that, and Simon from Crew Lab, like, he swears by it. He's like, he can tell who is at risk for injury, like, because they've been looking at data for a while now.
Yeah.
They can see, like, where you're at, but n are we gonna listen is the it's the
Right.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
like, determined. Oh, go ahead.
When I first got injured, the guy that runs Expo, his name's Jordy.
Mhm.
He was down for the race in Florida and he was like, "Oh, I should go back and look at your data and see if we can tell where it happened."
Yeah.
Um, but because we were erging at altitude before, I think like that's where it happened. So he wasn't able to find it, but he was like, "Oh no, like we can kind of like utilize this technology to look at it."
Yeah. I mean, and that's really the future is like if you can
Yeah.
if you're getting this information, say there's like an algorithm that can compile and look at all of it and then notice that slight change in someone's performance and then be able to alert them like, hey, like this you're at a point where maybe you can't handle conditions. So I always think of like injury and conditions, like that's usually it's a recipe for something to happen when you're out there. But then there's that balance of like you have to row in conditions. Like you have
Yeah.
to be able to tolerate it. So it's like, trying to find that balance of maybe today isn't the best day to toggle that and try it. Whereas like if you could give that type of, information, that would be so valuable because you just don't want to be in a position where you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball already because, like, the
Right.
feedback are on top of that, so, yeah, yeah, really amazing stuff. So, like, where are you in the process now? So you're healed, you're feeling good. What are the hopes heading in? Because right now we're talking to each other and it's late November of 2025, so what are your goals going into 2026 and what are the plans? I wanna know.
Yeah, so I this past weekend actually just raced at fall speed order and got third, which I feel like was a pretty good result for me. That's my like, wow, okay, I am back.
Yep.
I race a few times this fall. My head at the Charles was so bad, I don't even know if I call it a race, but that was my first like run down the course in a competition environment.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, wasn't it for me. And then we raced the fish very casually. That's our home race.
yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll race it. And then we work all weekend. And then this was my first race back. And I feel like this was the first time that I had returned to my speed, how I expected it to feel, what racing is like. I was able to get back into that. So now looking ahead, I still have the same ambitions of making the national team. We really just kicked off the 2026 season. So coming up next, we have a 2K and 6K testing at the end of December. Then we'll go down to Florida for some winter training. And then we'll kick off with some camps, a race in May, and go from there.
Awesome. And how does your preparation look different post-injury? Is there anything that you've added to your routine to stave off any rib concerns or like what are your secrets now to keep staying healthy?
So I'm doing less erging. I was erging a lot, which is why I think I maybe broke my rib. But you have to test your limits every once in a while.
Gotta get on it. Like there's yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
pull, it doesn't lie. So you gotta
Yeah. Yeah, you got to test it.
test it.
And I've learned that almost 200K a week for 3 weeks is my limit.
Okay.
So I like probably could have used my brain and thought about that, but whatever, live and learn.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably the biggest difference, but I am still trying to build my erg volume back for the afternoon. We are expected to erg at least a few days in the afternoon. So that's one thing that's changed. And now I just sit on the bike but I'm able to like bike and not feel like I'm taking it as an out, but I'm actually able to train and understand the intensity and what it's supposed to feel like and how I'm going to recover from it. So, those are probably the biggest things. On top of that, I was lifting a lot this fall because I couldn't row enough.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to gain a little strength. LA's a 1500. I got to get power somewhere. So that was a big this fall game changer.
Mhm.
But now I'm just trying to get back on track and back on our training plan that our coach writes as much as I can. And I have my whole system of some mobility, some stabilization, and it tweaks every so often. I probably have a few more rib stretches and rotator cuff strengthening in there now, but for the most part, it's my same routine.
That's amazing. Like, talk about what you do and how people can get in touch with you as a PT who rows and where we can find you, websites, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you're doing online. If people are interested in learning more about you, I want you to tell them about that.
Yes, so I'm not a big online person yet. There are some things in the works that I cannot reveal, but to get a hold of me, you can follow me on Instagram at Savbria, Brija. And yeah, that's where you can find me. I post occasionally more on my stories. You'll see a lot of rowing things. I'll repost a lot of our rowing stuff, but that's definitely the best place to contact me.
And as people join the national team, like, do you get sponsors or do you have people who are supporting you? Do you have like some type of, like, say someone wanted to send support so that you can continue your training? Like, is there a spot to do that too?
Yeah, so definitely look for Orion Rowing. That is my club team. That is my home team. We do a lot of fundraising and a lot to support our national team goals because obviously there is not a lot of money in rowing, but we've really been fortunate to have such a great group here. And I think every year since Orion was created, someone's made the national team. So we've had a lot of success as a club that, yeah, definitely follow Orion Rowing on Instagram, and that's where you can look to help support us, as well as US Rowing, of course.
Of course. And any closing thoughts that you want to share with those who are listening to the podcast?
So, yeah, one thing that I was thinking about when I was doing this, have you ever seen Ted Lasso?
I've seen bits and pieces. My husband started watching it without me, and then it became one of these things where, "Well, I'm not gonna watch it because you started watching it
Oh,
without me." But every once in a while,
you should definitely watch it.
I need to sit down and
Well,
just like actually watch it
yeah.
myself.
Well, one thing I was thinking about from this, and I feel like this is like what really like encompassed my like return to rowing, was one of the best scenes in this whole thing is that Ted Lasso's playing darts with the like old club owner Rupert, who's like a bad guy. We don't like him.
Yeah.
And it's this awesome scene, and he quotes Walt Whitman that's like, be curious, not judgmental.
Mhm.
And I feel like that is like what I've really tried to embody in my recovery, in coming back to the water, just like getting rid of any expectations that like I put on myself and just like being curious as to like what speed I can hit, like what technical change I can make. And I feel like that, along with just like staying locked into the process, is like what's really got me through and is something that I'm definitely going to continue working towards.
That's amazing. I love that. I mean, that's a because a lot of times we can put a lot on ourselves, and like the idea of curiosity kind of takes the weight off of that
Yeah.
idea. Like you're curious, it's not super serious, but like at the same time, like you want to learn more about how you're going to manage this. So I love that. Thank you so much for chatting today.
Yeah. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's conversation today with Savannah. You can find her at Sav Bria and at Arion Rowing if you want to follow her on Instagram. Thanks again, Savannah, for speaking with us today.